Alright, what's up guys? It's GSR here. So I had an individual in my comment section down below. Um, I think it's when I made that rating combo video for that one subscriber, I think. I could be wrong. But the individual wanted me to play as Raiden, and this comment was posted up like a day or two ago. And now I'm just getting to it. Um, so I'm just gonna tell you how to use Displacer. Or at least this is just my personal opinion of me living with the variation like a very long time ago when this game came out. Um, the biggest thing to take of note from this variation, it's not the electric fly or nothing like that. The biggest thing is his teleport. This is the staple here. This shit right here is the staple. Both of these are the staple, right? This is what makes this variation very unique in a sense because Raiden doesn't have good range like that. So like what I'll do is like I'll go through all of his standing normals, and you'll see like what I'm talking about, right? So actually, actually I'll just do it this way because you can't tag every move. So his standing one, like as you can clearly see, it's pretty short ranged. It's not really, very far reaching. His back one is the same exact way. His forward one, his standing two, his back two. Now his forward two has range, so this could be used when you guys are within footsie range of each other, right? But the max range is typically right here, right? Because if I back up just a little bit, now I'm outside of the range of my forward two, right? So you got to pay attention to the spacing between you and the opponent. Now Raiden will go against characters that have way better range than him. So keep that in mind. So what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna tag the forward two. So just remember that, right? And this is something else that I'm helping you on as well, is understanding what is his best farthest reaching normals, because when he goes for this, he's +2, so that actually complements him pretty well to a certain degree. And keep in mind, I did say to a certain degree, because keep in mind, even if the opponent was to block it, right, you can stop right here, and then you can go for whatever, right? Which helps Raiden out. You could also possibly use that forward two as a whiff punisher as well. Now you also need to look at where the move hits at. So you see like he kind of does like this little uppercut shit, and it's not really reaching super low to the ground. So it could possibly be low profile depending on, where the opponent's hurt box is when they try to low profile it with a low move or whatever, or like a sliding move. Then on top of that, you also have to understand that you need to know where the hitbox is. So like as a matter of fact, right? Because keep in mind, on the PlayStation 4, I had all the characters, but now I don't have all the characters. So I would use Triboard for this, but I don't know if I really want to buy the DLC characters and shit like that and waste my money. But let me see if I can. Let's see here. Who has a low move in this game? I'm trying to remember real quick because Triboard would have been a perfect example for what I was talking about. I gotta figure out who has a low move in this damn game that can that's like a physical attack that reaches me from a certain distance. I gotta figure that out. Reptile's move is pretty low to the ground. I could use him. Because it's weird how I'm having all these weird images pop inside of my head every time I see these characters in this game of certain moves that they have. That's kind of strange, but anyway, Scorpion has a low move actually, so we'll use Scorpion's little low move. Actually, now that I think about it, he has range. He has a little bit more range than Reptile, and I think Reptile's hurt box is a lot more expanded than Scorpion's. So hopefully I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Yeah, he got range on that bitch. So if you look right, see where Raiden's move is hitting at. I think it can be low profile. See how he whipped it? If I time the attack correctly, see that? See how he whipped it? Hopefully y'all saw that. see how he's whipping it? Even if I would have to preemptively do this to stop him from doing that. See how he hits the ground before I can even hit him with the mid? Yeah, you would have to preemptively hit the opponent. Especially if they have a move like this. Yeah, see how I went for that mid, and you see how the animation was going. It was completing. It was trying to complete, and Scorpion was still able to duck underneath it. So I think this mid can be low profile. Like no cap. I think it could be low profile. I'm throwing it out there for a reason, right? Now we're gonna go back. So standing three doesn't. I mean, why would you do that? That wouldn't make any sense. His back three more of close range. A lot of his moves are just real close range, and then we have the standing four, and then we have like the little sweep here, and then we have this move which has some range on it, but it has a slow startup time. But he is significantly plus on block, so this could be beneficial to you if you can manage to get this move out. But keep in mind, it is 25 frames, so it is relatively on the slow side. So just be careful when you're using that. So, yeah. Now the other normal though is because if we look at his pokes and stuff like that, right? Because for people who don't know, uh, these normals are technically pokes. Um, I'm just saying, like these normals are technically pokes. Like this is technically a poke. And this is a really good poker rating because he can actually go into that right there if they think you're going to stagger. Um, and also, you want to see if the move is safe because this is one of his best farthest reaching normals, right? So you can use this within footsie range, but you have to keep in mind the shit that I just showed you that it could potentially be low profiled. But his forward two, 2+4, it's +2 on block. And if you want to see if there's a gap in it, you can put the opponent on dash backwards and there's no gap. Another thing you can do is you can do that and there's no gap. So this is actually a pretty solid normal that leads into a combo string. So what I'll do is like I'll do this and then I'll tag that and then we're gonna go to the down four. The reason why the down four is good is because this has a lot more range and it also spaces Raiden out, which is very useful. And on top of that, kind of leaves him slightly low to the ground, not super low to the ground compared to like Scorpions. Like as you can clearly see, Scorpion is a lot more lower to the ground. It's kind of like he's ducking. But this move can space an opponent out. Not only that, the move is only -4 on block and it's 13 frames on startup. This is 15 frames on startup. Now, of course, you won't be getting a combo with this, but you will be getting hit advantage. And if you know, like I know, especially from MK11, if you space this move out at the correct range and you successfully hit the opponent, you more than likely will get higher hit advantage. So that could be beneficial. He does 3%, but like I said, you're not going to get a combo, but you could potentially get pressure from this, and you're safe regardless. So if you are spacing this out, he could be -2, -3 on block if you're completely spacing it out like this. And look at the spacing, right? The move is slightly low to the ground, but you will have to test out, certain shit. So let's see here. So say for example, I'm gonna have Scorpion jump. See that? Like they're not gonna be able to just sit there and just get away. Like it's not gonna happen. So like, what if he jumps forwards, right? See what I'm saying? Like even if he jumps forwards, that's what's gonna happen. And the reason why I'm doing the meter burn version now backwards, yeah, that might happen. So the reason why I'm showing this off as well, right, is because like if you look at his meter burn version of his lightning or basically his projectile, it's +12 on block. You could also use this in the corner because this is actually highly effective because it's going to be hard for them to escape from that, especially on top of that, like when he goes for the back one, 4, which is a restand, his hit advantage is 6 frames, but I think it increases slightly because they're like launching to the air. I could be wrong, but don't quote me on that. But anyway, like I said, these two are like his in my opinion his best buttons when you're within footsie range of the opponent. Now, how does this tie into his displacer variation and stuff like that? The reason why it ties in is because, like, say for example, the opponent got hit. See what I just did there? Not only that, you can down, for them and then apply pressure afterwards, and this is very beneficial for Raiden. Then on top of that, they'll probably block, which can also set up a situation like this. And since I spaced it out like that, remember he was like +6 on this move. So I'll just tag this because it has some range on it. But then again, you more than likely don't want to do that because they might stuff your attack with a faster startup time. So this is kind of a ballsy move to do. However, like it can be complemented by the down four because if you're doing certain other stuff and conditioning them to worry about the pressure that you can do, the fact that you can teleport instantly afterwards and stuff like that, like they got some shit to worry about. Then on top of that, they don't know if you're just gonna stop here. You know what I mean? Even if like when you block this, right? Like the spacing is already there. So you can capitalize off of the errors that the opponent makes because they might go for a far-reaching normal to try and punish Raiden, and they have to keep in mind Raiden has a 6-frame forward one that can punish a decent amount of stuff in the game. Not a lot of characters have this luxury of having a 6-frame normal, but I'm not gonna go all the way into detail about a lot of this shit because technically, like, you guys are eventually going to have to learn this if you're really trying to learn this. And the thing about this though is like you also want to look and find what is your what is your fastest standing normal, right? Like you want to look at like this move. Okay, so this is my fastest standing normal. Then you want to see like what does it link into, and then obviously it links into one of his main combo strings and stuff like that. And like I'll probably make a separate video explaining this type of stuff in a better way. You also want to find what is his good anti-airs. Like you want to find out, okay, is his down one a good anti-air? Obviously down two is very universal, so more than likely that's a decent anti-air. But you obviously want to get more damage than that. And since you're playing MKX, you can more than likely get crazy amounts of damage on the opponent just for hitting them with an anti-air. You know, you might want to look at air-to-air moves. Like, what's a good air-to-air move? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Raiden has a good air-to-air move except for like his jumping kick, maybe, or like maybe you could, you know, do his neutral jump kick as a good air-to-air. But like I said, like as you can clearly see, right? Like, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of range. So as far as the air-to-air moves, I think like maybe his jumping kick because possibly the active frames are pretty good on it, and then maybe his neutral jump kick and stuff like that. What is a good jump in for Raiden? You gotta question that. So as you can clearly see, this hits at a certain angle when you jump in. It doesn't have the craziest range like certain other characters do in this game. So you have to be careful when jumping in on the opponent and timing your attack correctly. As far as the jump in one, I don't think it's really that useful. So, I mean, there's that. Then he has like this jumping kick that has like a diagonal type of positioning. So that could be kind of useful to a certain degree. Like shit like that. Like you gotta think outside the box. Like you really gotta test this shit out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm kind of exposing too much here. But anyway, so the reason why the Displacer variation is very useful for Raiden is because which I've shown you guys some examples here. I mean, he only has like a down four and a 4-2. He doesn't really have the greatest range, and on top of that, his zoning game isn't really that great. So if he's in like the Thunder God variation or the Master of Storms variation, you know, his neutral game, it's not on par with a lot of different characters to a certain degree, right? And I'm not saying it's impossible for him to do something because this game is fast paced. This game is chaotic and heavy rush down. So I mean, he has a sprint button, but what makes his neutral game a lot stronger is because the opponent's gonna fear Raiden's teleport. So if they're over here trying to spam projectiles, this is kind of like an anti-projectile type variation as well. Not only that, in close range engagements, this also gives Raiden the opportunity to apply great pressure. Not only that, his Displacer variation creates certain mind games. So say for example, I do like his back 1-1 or something like that, right? Something that technically leaves me plus. Like he's -2 on this, but technically he's plus because like if I do this, right, this is the best way of labbing this. So let me actually teleport. See that? See how I jumped before him? So that's how I know like I can move probably like a couple frames before the opponent can. And then you want to test out the moves and your moves to see like, okay, like what can I beat out and what can the opponent do to basically stop me? Like what can they do to stop me from doing certain shit? Can they armor? Can they backdash? Can they fatal blow? AKA armor or X-ray, excuse me. Let me get that correct before somebody get on their period like it's that time of the month. But like I said, you see where I'm going with this, right? And you want to test those options out because like if I was to go for like his back 1-1, technically, that's actually a good option. Come on. So as you can clearly see, I can jump before the opponent can. Now keep in mind, his back 1-1 is minus where the fuck is it? It's -4, right? Yeah, it's -4. Now, like I said, it's good for pressure. His teleport's good for pressure. It's good for mind games. It's really good for the neutral because it can help him close the distance a lot easier. Because if he's dealing with a character that can keep him out to a certain degree, because if you're a Master of Storms and Thunder God, like yeah, they're gonna manage to keep you out. Um, so you can use this variation, and not only will you be able to fight back in the neutral with like your projectile, but you have a better option now where you could just do a meterless teleport and you can punish them based on what the recovery is and if you time it correctly. Sometimes you'll possibly have to preemptively teleport ahead of time in order to punish certain shit that the opponent does to you. Um, but he's -8 right here, right? See how like we both basically jump at the same time? Now you also have to pay attention to the block stun of the combo strings of normal. That could play a huge part into this as well. Because sometimes block stun, especially in this game, block stun is so heavy in this game that it makes it feel like your character's plus, or it makes it feel like, you know, on the defender side, it makes it seem like the opposing on that opposing side that you're defending from, it makes it seem like they're more plus than what they are, and that's kind of like a huge flaw in this game is the crazy amounts of block stun in this game. But that's just, you know, that's just my opinion. You know, let me stay on track here. So yeah, there's that. But like I said, like say for example, I do like, you see what I'm saying? See what I'm doing here? Like I'm creating a mind game because you don't know if I'm gonna, because a lot of players, and keep in mind this also wastes stamina, so keep that in mind. Now if I do a meter burn far teleport, it doesn't waste any stamina, right? You see what I'm doing here? So, and this teleport is so fucking quick that you have you don't really have a lot of time to react, right? So you want to get used to doing like single hitting normals like this and just lab it, you know what I mean? And this also complements his 50-50 potential because now his mix-up potential becomes a lot more deadlier. You know what I mean? Mainly because of the fact that like if you're using a combo string that the opponent already knows that is plus, and you've already conditioned them to respect the idea that you can stop a lot of options that they do, this will open up the gate for him to apply 50-50 because Raiden isn't a heavy mix-up character like that, but when he's in this variation, now his mix-ups are intimidating to deal with because now, like, you don't know what's happening. You understand what I'm saying? Especially if you're being conditioned. So yeah. So just keep this in mind. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, the Displacer variation is essentially like how should I put it? It's complementing Raiden because it helps him get in the neutral. It helps him create mind games because, say for example, the opponent always believes that you're going to teleport behind them or whatever after you do a combo string. So they're already mentally preparing themselves for you to teleport behind them. But then they might respond with something. The problem with them responding with something is the fact that like I could just be like, oh, okay. Now sometimes you can get away with a far teleport, like a meterless one, but keep in mind you do lose 50% of your stamina. I cannot stress that enough. So you need to manage this correctly and know when it's a good time to do this. And you can't be overly predictable with what you're doing. You gotta mix it up and make it very difficult for them to pinpoint where you're gonna be at. And if the opponent has caught on to you in an online match, you might want to adapt to what you just experienced, and you might want to change up a bit and be less predictable with this teleport, because if you're being overly predictable, it makes it very easy for the opponent to pinpoint what you're going to do before you do it, which leads into a read is what people call it, and you basically have been downloaded. So you got to make it difficult for them. You gotta stop like right here and don't teleport, and then on top of that, the teleport is so strong that you could just steal a turn. Like you could literally sit here and they're already ready for you to teleport, and you could literally just steal a turn. Like you could literally just be like, oh, okay, and then do whatever the hell you're trying to do. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to keep that in mind as well. What else is there? This teleport also has armor on it, so that's kind of that's low-key cheap because it's not only a really good side switcher move. This could also help you get out the corner as well. Like I said, it helps you in the neutral. It helps him with his pressure. It creates numerous mind games because you don't know if I'm going to teleport over here, if I'm going to stay in place, if I'm going to teleport behind you or in front of you or whatever the case may be. You don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you really just don't know. Like, you know. So yeah, like I said, that's basically how you use displacer variation. Like you really like I just told you like basically everything to a certain degree, and then on top of that, it has armor. So like if you like actually hold on, let me go to a care. Well, I can use Scorpion for this, right? Yeah, I can actually. Hold on. What is it? I can't. What is this combo string? It's 2-1-4. Yeah, I think it is. +2 on block. See what I just did there? Now keep in mind, you don't want to be like a fucking jackrabbit and just going crazy, like oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, you know what I mean? Don't be doing all that crazy shit. Use it when it's effective because it does cost resources. It costs a full bar meter for you to do this shit. So don't be doing nothing fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Be smart about what you're doing. Sometimes you can get away with doing meterless shit, and you can kind of catch them off guard by doing like the far ones. So yeah, like say for example, what was I about to do? Let's see here. Do I want to use that? Now, keep in mind, timing is also key as well when you're teleporting, because sometimes you'll probably fuck up. So just practice the timing of this, because it's not really hard to do. But I was about to show y'all something, but I ain't gonna do that. But yeah, like I said, this is the staple here. This is the big deal. This is just an added special move where he can get better damage. So like I'll show you, like, because on block, you ain't doing no teleport shit. You see what I'm saying? Like even if you do it from here and you try to meter burn, like nothing happens, right? All it does is give you better damage, as you can clearly see. So just keep that in mind. That's basically it, really. But like I said, it creates really good mind games in close range engagements. You can also create mind games in the neutral. This helps him to get in. This can also stop people from spamming projectiles in the neutral. You have to be careful though, because if your opponent's onto you, they might catch you off guard sometimes, especially if you're being too predictable with this. This is also really good for pressure. This is really good for mix-up opportunities and stuff like that. Then on top of that, like if you teleport here, like, and then they end up blocking, they have to deal with the 50-50 more than likely, or they would have to deal with like you going for your A-frame mid and stuff like that, which complements his close range highs and stuff like that. Because like I said, Raiden is not a heavy mix-up character like that, but when he's in this variation, because of this teleport, like he can really do some shit, you know what I'm saying, like mix-up wise, when his back 2 and his back 3, because you could probably use the 2-1-4 as like a 50-50 game. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. What else is there that I can expose for Raiden, at least on how to use this variation? Because you basically know like 90% of it, basically. I mean, that other 10%, I mean, just you knowing how to do combos and you setting this up correctly and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Also, this teleport is kind of like anti-wake up as well, because Smoke has something similar to this, and the same thing with Melina. So if I knock Scorpion down, I'll show you this real quick. Where is this taken? Okay, that's the meter burn, right? Yeah. So like, say for example, I had like, I don't know. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I can kind of like use this, and then I could punish Scorpion. So you could kind of use it as like an anti-wake up. So just because he has this teleport alone, this just made Raiden inherently strong. Like, it just made him dumb as fuck in this game. Just because of the teleport. If he didn't have this teleport, I don't think Raiden would be as strong as he is in this game. But he is still really strong in this game because of the teleport. It's mainly because of the fucking teleport. That's literally, it's so many different applications that you can apply because of this teleport. So yeah, and then on top of that, like, the damage that he can get in this variation when he's teleporting and shit, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, like I told you guys before, it's a really good side switching type move. So say for example, you had caught the opponent with like a 2-1, you can actually teleport, go for a meterless combo, and then, you know, hold on, it's been a minute, and then you can go for like some type of combo and side switch the opponent. But I guess if you guys need some more tips on this, I guess I can more than likely expose some more shit, but I think this is it, really. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's not really hard to understand this. I'll probably make a video for Scorpion, like his Hellfire, because I mean his Hellfire is very basic. It's very easy to understand. Um, but yeah, other than that, hopefully this actually helped you out. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully you guys are being safe out there. Peace.